So I have discovered the use of Twitter. The whole purpose of it is to argue. I have found out. I've had it for a year and hardly used it. And just lately I've been using it. And I got into this massive long argument with a whole bunch of people attacking me for being an anti-vaxxer. And the argument went on and on and on. I didn't swear, I didn't stoop. They sent me racist memes, all that sort of stuff. And so the main part of the argument was the road deaths. Here in Tasmania we usually have around 30, and 2023 we had 50 odd, which is the highest it's ever been. And the reason was all of these cardiac arrests at the wheel. And so that was like a 60% increase in deaths on the road, and that was attributed to all of these cardiac arrests, causing people to die, then have a head-on collision, or go off the road and hit a tree. But when you've had a cardiac arrest, they can tell there are the chemical markers in the heart. And so there was a big pressure on the government to lower, and so all of these pro-vaxxers were saying, oh, well, it might have been high one year, but it's dropped back down to normal. There goes your theory that it's the vax causing the heart attacks. But then I found the document where it shows that the government had to do something to lower the road rate, the deaths on the road. So what does the government always do? Bloody fudged the numbers. They decided that now, if you died of natural causes and then crashed your car, it was no longer a road death. It used to be you died on the road, it was a road death. Now they look at the cause of the death, and if it's what they consider natural causes, i.e. cardiac arrest, stroke, heart attack, it is no longer a road death. And this has brought the road toll back down into the 30s, rather than it being in the 50s. But they just fudged the bloody numbers. And if they hadn't, people would say, well, hang on, we've had record number of deaths on the road 2 years in a row, ever since the safe and effective, and this increase are the cardiac arrests, but they fudged the numbers. And I proved this to these bunch of pro-vaxxers, and every time I proved them wrong, one of them would delete their posts, block me, and that's it. And in the end, they all had to do it, because I proved them wrong. And it seems that once you're proved wrong, well, you can't admit it, delete everything, and pretend you were right. And also, the best thing was, in the end I said, well, how many have you had? And they had all had only 3. And then I pointed out to them that 4 is the minimum to be fully vaxxed here in Australia. If you've had 3, they will call you an anti-vaxxer because you didn't go and get the 4th. And I showed them the articles. Look, you with only 3, how dare you call yourself a pro-vaxxer? You are, by government decree, an anti-bloody vaxxer. And so they've all blocked me, deleted their posts, pretended it didn't happen at all, and they're back into their little bubble of safe and effective, safe and effective. Well, no, you're a bloody anti-vaxxer by lawful definition. If they loved the vax so much, they should have had 8. 8 is, right, if you followed the vaccine schedule in Australia, 8 is the minimum you would have had. And under 4, you are unvaccinated. Right? The first 3 don't count at bloody all. Blah, 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 blah. Just to go blah, 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 one of these pro-vaxxers, who actually turns out to be an anti-vaxxer because he's only had 3, I actually started following him. So I looked at his Twitter page, or whatever you call him, and we agreed on nearly everything except for the vaccination. And so I was following him and I was commenting on some of his posts that I agreed with. He was actually passionate about Tasmania and our beautiful big trees that we have here. And I am too. Why wouldn't we be friends? Well, because I have had 0 vaxxers, so I'm an anti-vaxxer. And he's had 3, so he is technically an anti-vaxxer as well. So shouldn't we be mates? Bah. And look, an ambulance, only the 5th one I saw today. So it's a pretty lean day, or at least I haven't been observant enough. To say that it is safe and effective is just madness.